Today I do the introduction from my car because the battery went flat on the camera, but we talk about the mentality and the systems underlying making the correct food choices and a couple of other questions that I can't remember that we'll get through as well. Hey guys, welcome to MotoFit TV, episode number 11. I'm Andrew Hammer. Welcome to the show if you haven't been on before. We've done a little bit of rearranging since the previous episode, so everything around here is in a little bit of a different order, but we'll see how that goes for today. We've got a few questions to get through today, so I'll keep the answers a little bit short and we'll try and get through a few more so I can try and help with a few different scenarios as we go through today's show. So what was our first question for today, Jeremy?
Luke asked, how do you overcome injuries mentally, as I just recently had a knee reconstruction?
Cool, so Luke, with injuries, the most important thing is being able to prioritize healing that specific injury. Okay, so for you specifically, obviously you've had a knee reconstruction. So what we want to be able to make sure is that our highest priority is that we're looking after your knee and getting that to heal. Secondary, then we can start to work on other areas of fitness. Now this doesn't always mean lifting heavy weights or going for a run. We can look at other components as well, so we can look at things such as, say, mobility and flexibility, which is something that often gets overlooked. The mistake that a lot of riders and racers make is that they get an injury and they take a few months off training and they do nothing. They don't ride, they don't train, they don't do any flexibility work, they do nothing. Which means that they actually go backwards, so we detrain. So the first thing priority what we want to make sure is that your knee is sorted and good to go. Secondary, then we can start to look at things, once that's healing, then we can start to look at other areas. So for example, you may be able to still do some upper body training. You may be able to do some pull-ups, some push-ups, some bench press, some bent over rows. Maybe you can even do some dumbbell work. Maybe there's other types of exercises that you can do, maybe some core work that you can work on. It may not be optimal work, but at least we're getting something in, which is going to mean that we can maintain your level of fitness and strength as you're healing. The common error that a lot of riders and racers make is that they have all that time off and their training goes backwards, or everything goes backwards. Number one, they do nothing. Number two, they try and train through the injury and try and do a heap of work, which actually prolongs the recovery of the actual injury in the first place. So we end up spending a heap more time off riding, a heap more time off training, and affecting our recovery over the long term just for that perceived short-term gain. So it's important to be able to have the long game in mind. First of all, making sure you get your knee sorted, and then having some sort of structure or schedule. So trying to stick relatively to your training plan. Obviously, I don't know how far out of surgery you are and where you are in terms of the recovery process, but try and have some sort of routine. So if you normally train on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 to 6 p.m. Try and have something on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5 to 6 p.m. that is helping you to be able to build your fitness over the long term. That may be doing some upper body work, that may be doing some body weight stuff, that may be some flexibility and mobility work you can crack on with. So you can go to our YouTube channel. If you go to some of the older videos, there's a heap of mobility and flexibility work in there where you can grab a whole heap of exercises, because what's going to happen over that time that you have off, Luke, is you're going to tighten up. You're going to get stiff. Okay, because the body's made to move. Obviously when we're injured, we're not doing as much moving. So the flexibility and mobility work will do a shit ton to get you back to where you were before. When you come back, making that process as easy as possible, not adding another issue or another area that you have to work on when you're getting back to training. So instead of keeping your mind, obviously you want to go and ride and that's sweet, but we need to be able to focus on keeping you in routine with the training side of things. And that's going to help to keep you motivated and driven, because you're going to see progress. Motivation and drive comes from consistent progress. If you're not seeing progress or things aren't moving as fast as what you like, that's where drive and motivation start to reduce. So if you're going through this period of time where you're not able to ride and you're not doing anything, you don't feel like you're progressing, your drive and motivation is going to be fairly low. If you have something that you're progressing on, maybe you're getting more flexible, you're moving better, whatever it is, you're going to be more driven and motivated to continue, because you're going to see that progress and it's going to be worthwhile for you. So there's a couple of things for you, Luke, to be able to start implementing straight away. I hope the recovery goes well with your knee also. So what was our next question, Jeremy?
Robbie asked, what is the best powder type protein to use for recovery, and how would that work during a lengthy enduro?
Cool, Robbie. So you're talking about protein with a lengthy enduro and how to be able to get that in. So you pretty much want to use a natural type protein. What I mean by natural is obviously it's protein, it's refined powder. There's going to be it's not 100% natural. In other words, it's not a piece of meat. But with the powder, you want to make sure that it is a pure protein. So a lot of proteins these days, if you go to a lot of supplement shops, they'll say protein on the front, and you'll flip the back over and look at the ingredients list, and it'll have a big shopping list like this, or look like a shopping list of ingredients that are actually in there that aren't protein, okay? And some of them will be long names that you probably can't even pronounce properly. They look like they've come out of a laboratory from a chemist. You want to try and avoid those types of products. When you flip your protein over, there should be like a few things in there. So there should be protein, there should be maybe some natural flavoring. Usually there's going to be some type of preservative. At the end of the day, it is a powder, okay? It is going to stay in the packet for a while. There's going to be some type of preservative in there. But you should only have like 3, 4, 5 ingredients in there, not 10, 15, 20 ingredients on the back. So that's the first thing you want to look for. So you don't want any fillers or anything else in there. A lot of protein companies will put fillers and all this other shit in there just to fill the packet up. Which is good for them because they make a shit ton of money. Not so good for you though, because you're now taking in a whole heap of chemicals and crap and not really getting what you're after, which is the protein. In terms of when you're going over a longer ride, I would save the protein until at the end of the ride. So when you're done, so if you're doing a 3 or 4 hour enduro, I would save that right for the end for your recovery. Only because it's going to be tough for your body to be able to digest the protein and be able to use it while you're still actually exercising and working. In other words, you're still on the bike. So what I would try and do is try and get some coconut water in at each of the stops. Helps a bit with hydration, helps in terms of sugar to be able to give you a bit of energy for that next part. And then when we get to the end, then you can take the protein. And that would be my best recommendation. Obviously, it's tough with enduros depending on the duration, depending on the format of the race, depending on how many stops you have, etc., how long you're on the bike. But that's a rough guide of what I would start with. So having coconut water, some type of fruit. Coconut water is probably going to be easier for fuel stops if you can. And then getting your protein in right at the end to help with your recovery. So if you've got a multi-day enduro, you recover the next day. Otherwise, if it's a one-day enduro, then you're going to be recovered, ready to crack on with your training and feel a lot better during the week. So I hope that gives you some structure, at least something to be able to get started with. So that's our next question, Jeremy. We're flying through today.
Corey asked, how do you change your mentality when it comes to eating good food?
Awesome, sweet, Corey. That's actually a very good question because a lot of people say that, I know there was a few comments on that post when you put it up, Corey, saying you've just got to want it, you've got to want to have it bad enough. But that's actually the complete opposite of what you need. Wanting something bad enough doesn't mean you're going to get it, okay? Like a lot of people want to win lotto, they don't win lotto, okay? A lot of people want things. You need to have a structure and a plan to be able to get it. So it's very important first to be able to develop the behavior that's going to allow you to implement good quality nutrition over the long term. And that comes from your behaviors on a day-to-day basis. So first of all, it comes from having a plan. You need to develop the discipline to be able to eat correctly, which takes about, from when I was last reading, I think it was 40 to 60 days to develop a habit, okay, which means it's part of your lifestyle. So in other words, think about brushing your teeth. No one likes brushing their teeth, okay? No one wakes up in the morning and goes, fuck yeah, it's awesome, let's go brush our teeth this morning. But everyone does it, okay? Or at least I hope you do. And the reason that you do that is because it's a habit. Maybe when you were younger, your mum said, go brush your teeth, and she kept telling you to go brush your teeth, go brush your teeth, okay? And there were times where you didn't do it, but your mum and dad or parents kept reinforcing that for you to go and brush your teeth until it's a habit, and then you get older and you just do it, okay? It just happens. You just get up. You don't even think about it. Same as having a shower. You just do it. Right? You don't have to get yourself pumped up. You don't have to watch 10 motivational videos or put your Dre beats on and listen to the best music to be able to go and have a shower or brush your teeth. It's just part of what you do. And that's where we need to be able to get your food to. Now, obviously there is a process in being able to get there. It's not as easy as just going boom. You've got to put the hard work in initially, but we need to have the structure there to build that long-term habit. So what I would recommend first working on is being able to map out all your food. So the biggest mistake that a lot of people make is they say, okay, I want to eat healthy, I want to eat better. They have no plan, okay? If you don't plan, you can't expect to get to where you want to be. So the first thing that we need to be able to work on, Corey, is first being able to map out the food that you're going to eat on a weekly basis. So grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, map it out into 7 columns, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Map out breakfast, lunch, dinner, any snacks. And then what we're gonna do is you're gonna write down the meal that you're gonna have for each time of the day. So for breakfast, you may say, okay, I'm gonna have a steak and I'm gonna have some nuts. Okay, so you write down the type of steak, write down the type of nuts and how much you're gonna have. For lunch, you may say you're gonna have a salad and you like lettuce, tomatoes and cucumbers. So you're gonna have lettuce, tomatoes and cucumbers for your salad. And then you're gonna have chicken breasts, which are marinated with some marinade that you're gonna make for it. So map out everything. Go through the full 7 days, map out everything, Corey. Absolutely everything that you're gonna have for that week. Then what that does is gives you a shopping list. So once you've mapped everything out and you know exactly what you're gonna do, you've got that list. You take that, you go to the shopping center, you buy everything on there, and then you go home on the weekend or during the week and you prepare everything and organize it as best you can. Chop up all your salads, cut up your meats, marinate your meats, put them in different sealer bags so when you get home from work you already know what you're going to having, you just undo the sealer bag and start cooking your meat or whatever you're having. Map everything out. Once you get into this habit of having the food there ready to go, it's going to be much easier to stick to. The biggest mistake that a lot of people make is they choose that they want to eat healthy, but they don't map out their food, they don't map out what they're eating, they don't map out what they're going to do. So when it gets to during the week and it's Wednesday or Thursday when you're tired, you've been working all week, you've had a whole heap of stuff going on and all you want to do is just rest and the last thing on your mind is making food choices, chances are those food choices probably aren't going to be too good. If you make those food choices beforehand, so in other words, you make them on the weekend when you're getting everything together at once, you don't have to make any choices. We want to take the choice out of food, okay? So if there's a choice between having KFC, Hungry Jack's, or eating shitty food, sausage rolls or fast food, whatever it is, and eating good stuff, we want to make that choice as easy as possible. So if I physically had the salad in front of you and had the KFC there, it's much easier to take the salad, rather than saying, oh, KFC's across the road, but then you need to go and spend an hour to go and buy all the ingredients to get a salad, get a chopping board, a knife, clean it all up, find it all, go and buy it, chop it all up, and then make it and put it in a container and then wash the container and everything. It becomes too hard, right? And I'm not saying that you eat KFC, but you get what I'm trying to get to in terms of not eating the right types of foods. So planning is crucial. So you want to make sure you get everything prepared on the weekend, everything organized for the whole week. So when you're progressing throughout the week, when you get to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, okay, and time's short and things come up that aren't planned or aren't on the schedule, you've got everything you're ready to go. You don't have to make that decision, it's already there. That's the biggest problem or the biggest thing to overcome is taking that decision away. Making sure the food's there ready to go so all you have to do is eat it, not choose to spend an hour to prepare it and organize it and all the hard work that goes with getting good quality food ready. So it's all about having that plan. Once you've got that plan there, then that gives you good structures to change things around and we can do time carbohydrates better and we can have protein at certain times and eat specific types of foods. But first of all, whatever your version of healthy is, stick with that, map everything out for the first week, make sure everything's ready to go, have that structure, go to the shop, buy everything, organize everything for the week, and then you're ready to go, Corey. And that's going to give you a start, but the planning is crucial. It may not be fun to sit down with pen and paper and write down. It might seem a little bit stupid and most people bypass that. Most people pick and choose, they cherry pick the advice they want to take. Okay, don't cherry pick the advice from this in terms of just eating healthy food. You have to do the planning. That's the most important part. Most of the people watching this won't do the planning. Okay, they won't do the hard work because they'll go, oh, that's easy, I don't need to do that. And the reason that they do need to do it is because that's why they're watching the video in the first place, because they need the help. You need to do exactly what I need you to do. So get that plan out, map it out. If you need to send it through to me to hold you accountable to make sure it's been done, do that. Whatever we can do to help to at least get you on track and get you started, Corey. So I hope that gives you something to be able to work with. So what was our next question? That's our last one. So that's it for today. So no more questions. So if you do have a question, make sure you follow with hashtag MotoFitTV. If you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe up here to our channel on YouTube to be able to keep up to date with all our videos. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week for episode 12. Hope you have a great week. You're able to get out on the bike on the weekend. And remember, train hard, race harder. See you guys.